this topsy-turvy world of sports, only one thing is certain. The truth is, incompetence and inexplicable behavior are as American as apple pie. Hello, Walter Klondike here. Bizarre moments in sports date back to the early 20th century when many athletes found humor in their games. But it is the unplanned and unpredictable that we focus on here, so hold on to your horses as we take a journey through 20th century sports silliness. On this journey, we'll take you from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam in search of the funniest sports moments in A Century of Sports Bloopers, Volume 1.
Looks like he's in trouble. There's a fumble. But wait a minute. He's turned around. He's running the wrong way.
Limon trying it all, and he succeeds.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard.
You've heard the song Old Man River. Well, he just keeps rolling along. Sports bloopers just keep rolling along, too. Father Time doesn't seem to slow them down. To comment about 20th century sports, we've talked to several important Americans from politics to science to sports to entertainment. They gave us a mouthful.
Bubba Clinton here. As you may know, I like sport. I believe in cordial relationships between competitors. Well, there you go again, thinking all those dirty thoughts about me. Listen, I'm a one-woman man. I only have relations with one woman at a time. My agenda is to keep America going in the right direction. We must keep chasing our dreams. I have to admit, sometimes I feel like getting off the fast track, buying a farm, and heading back to the barn. If you were being hounded by Ken Starr, you'd feel like that too. He's been chasing me for years. When I started my campaign against George Bush, I faltered. My butt was in deep trouble, but I just kept after it. And you know what? I finally made it. And was I ever thrilled? What a day. Bill Clinton, President of the United States. Oh, man. First thing I did was celebrate with a Big Mac. I was so happy, I practically inhaled that sucker in one big bite. Did I say inhale? No, I never inhaled. Then I got a great dessert. Hot dogs. You should have seen my campaign workers. They were ecstatic. Yes, sir, I couldn't ask for a more loyal staff. And now that I'm president, I finally learned how to stop all the sex scandals surrounding my administration.
No sex plays on the outside. No sex plays. Getting up.
Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Bubba. My old buddy Charles Kuralt used to travel this vast land of ours, and he experienced the thrill of fishing in our great bodies of water.
That and a whole lot of sunscreen. That's grim. If you're going to head down here, remember to file a float plan. Bring a jacket.
I like that trick.
Don't hook anybody in the other boat. And you can have a good time out chasing trout.
Turn around, Rick. Finally caught a Marine.
Is he a keeper or you got throwing back?
He's a keeper.
Out there in the heartland, the wind kicks up, and even news professionals are subject to its vagaries. My hat's off to the fine news reporters who contend with the elements. American rodeo has its roots in the 18th century, where cowboys first learned to be wary of a bull's horns. 20th century America has seen the ascent of women's participation in sports. Here, Leanne Ketchum strikes out a male batter. Unfortunately, female excellence is not acknowledged by male competitors. In response to his failure, the player finds a trash can for his equipment. Equality of opportunity has also led to equality of pain. This female rodeo rider feels the agony that a 1,500-pound bull can inflict. America has its own unique concept of sports. Rodeo clowns employed to distract bulls are often tossed about like rag dolls by the raging animals. A new American event in 20th century American sport is in vogue. 4 poker-playing amigos sit stoically while a wild bull attacks them at will. The last player left sitting wins the game.
I think we've got a winner. Look at our winner! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially our winner, Katie Boo!
As that great American patriot Don King once said, only in America. Baseball is our national pastime. One night in a tiny town in Nebraska, our national pastime created one of the most bizarre bloopers of the century.
All of a sudden I heard crash. The hard ball went through my window.
Spitball, greaseball, you better play ball with me.
On the basketball court, window smashing has become more common as athletes slam the ball through the hoop in ways that the inventors of the game never envisioned. Smashing backboards into tiny shards of flying glass has, in fact, become a badge of honor, one that entitles the smasher to his 15 seconds of fame. Speaking of fame, let me introduce the most famous sports broadcaster of the 20th century, Howard Cosell.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard.
That's Cosell, Howard. Bring on the highlights.
The racetrack. A horse named Concerto swings wide. This George Steinbrenner-owned thoroughbred doesn't have a chance, or does he? With jockey Cecito Squeakeramus at the helm, here he comes. And wins it. Ice hockey. Wayne Freer sends it down ice. He scores. His name is Freer. And that, my friends, is as free as it gets. Across town, another pathetic piece of boardwork. Right there. Scintillating? No. Utterly improbable? Yes. More hockey. Goalie clears. They send it up ice. A bouncer. Through the legs and in. The replay. Follow the bouncing puck. Preposterous. Soccer. A header. The goalie charges. He backs up. Off his back. Another formidable faux pas. The goaltender makes the save, drops the ball, and can it be a stealthful steal by the defender? The baseball diamond. Batter swings and misses. Where's the ball? He looks left. He looks back. He looks right. And finally, yes, no. Yes, he picks up the tiny spherical cylinder. Here's something you don't see very often. The manager gets tossed. He then removes his shoe and places it up to the umpire's proboscis. The manager then throws the umpire out of the game. Note this player's sorry demonstration of sportsmanship. He throws the caller onto the field, then decides to follow up with the trash can. And this player does some trashing of his own. Clearly a tiny little mind at work. College hoops. The shot is blocked, and it bounces up and in. Amazing. Finally, look at the young pugilist. A foreboding one at that. Challenging the great one, Muhammad Ali. Reminds me of the Thriller in Manila. Look at the challenger dance. Might be time for Ali to use the rope-a-dope. Now back to the icon of the airways, Walter Cronkite.
Thank you, Howard. The very nature of the sports blooper is that it can be embarrassing. Here, a man allows a bull to de-pants him, for lack of a better word. While the sheepish man looks to escape, the victorious bull parades around the ring with the man's pants planted firmly atop his horns. The replay confirms this event as one of the most embarrassing sports moments of the 20th century. Witnessing one losing his clothing seems to generate a variety of reactions, from disgust to heightened stimulation to outright hysteria and appreciation. Losing one's pants is only slightly more embarrassing than accidentally ripping one's clothing or uniform in the heat of battle.
What tailback Clyde Norris sees. They give it to the fullback instead. He's still fighting away from tacklers. Gohagen across the 40. He's got the first down. He's finally wrestled to the ground by cornerback Mike Jones.
And he's coming apart at the seams, literally. Look at this. He's still got a hold of him.
Lamone in the corner.
In this instance, the embarrassment was no accident.
Given a sign of being trying to pull the shorts of Mitchell down. The trot's up. Lamone trying it all, and he succeeds. And a crowd booing. He has been clowning all fight and embarrassing his opponent, and then apologizes. And that's a heck of a trick with these gloves.
Watch college basketball coach Speedy Morris. He's raised pants ripping to an art form.
Such has been the tenacity of Speedy Morris on the bench that he has ripped his pants.
If there's any men's store out there that wants to be a sponsor, we got a guy for you tonight.
But you better bring spares.
The proliferation of promotions at ball games has afforded us new forms of embarrassment. Look at the pants of Rotho Kaiser.
10 times around the bat they'll go, and then try to run to third base. An interesting, if anything, race, as these contestants, Paul Mins in the red shirt and Rotho Kaiser in the white shirt.
Such crudity doesn't sit well with our next essayist, Deputy Sheriff Barney Fife.
Darn right, Walter. Active Deputy Sheriff Bernard P. Fife reporting for duty. I am an enforcement officer. I believe in rules. Without law and order, there'd be anarchy and chaos. People running all over the place with no sense of purpose or duty. Now, here's a rule breaker, and I'm going to write him up for indecent exposure. Code 351, a felony. And put this ref-abusing chicken back in the hen house where he belongs. What's this? Calling all cars. Mayday, mayday. We have 3 hooligans chasing a referee. A code 244 violation. The fact is, oh my heavens, requesting backup immediately. Where's the rule book? Here it is. Ordinance 12 assaulting a peace officer. That's a battery. And my, what do we have here? Knocking a referee. This is a total outrage. A punishable offense and an offense of punishment to all law-abiding citizens. Go ahead, disgrace yourself. Whatever happened to decorum on the fields of play? Look at this dog. What's he doing? He's using the arena as a restroom. That's a clear violation of Code 493, Section 3, relating to the use of public facilities for bathroom purposes. It's also a violation of Ordinance 913 concerning the pooper scooper law. Where's his owner? This fella's looking for a fight. You want to fight? Fight the law, tough fella, because you're heading straight downtown. Let's see if you can take on the judge, Mr. Tough Hombre. You're looking at jail time. Well, now, look at what we have here. Fan theft. Things are out of control.
Hey, Hector, how's the diet going?
Poor Hector here gets taunted about his weight while this player decides to poke his coach's eye out.
Who farted on the extreme outside?
Even announcers are out of control.
On the inside, Quester's jet. Who farted? Who farted on the outside? It's close. Who farted in the winner's circle?
Rate that guy out for debasing the public discourse. And this guy, too, Tommy Lasorda.
You ought to have your head examined. Pitch like this. You walk that guy that couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag. There's your...
For heaven's sake, sports today is X-rated entertainment.
I know you didn't call him a He called you right. He did not call you No, he didn't. I'm standing right
Aren't managers supposed to set an example for their players?
He called you That's good enough. Okay, but don't.
Both this guy and Lasorda should be arrested for degrading the morals of society. I'm fed up. Goodbye, Walter.
The year is 1922. The game is the Rose Bowl. This is perhaps the most famous faux pas of the 20th century. Cal's Roy Regals picks up the ball and takes off down the field the wrong way. His mistake confirms his place in sports blooper history. Through the years, Wrong Way Roy's feat has been duplicated by many athletes from high school boys to college gals. Notice Drake's Brinkmeyer grabbing a defensive rebound and tossing it to a teammate who loses control. After the ball is saved, that same Brinkmeyer becomes disoriented and scores one for the opponent, only to realize she'd committed a Regals. The bizarre sight of a horse running the wrong way can be eye-opening. Even dogs can sometimes lose their bearings. Not to mention marathon runners. It's easy for a human or an animal to get off track during a competition.
100 yards, the riderless horse could run off the track. He has. The riderless horse is forced now to meister off the track.
This harness horse, having lost its jockey, decides to escape from the track and wander up the steps into the jockey's lounge. Luckily, this once-in-a-lifetime occurrence resulted in no injuries to the animal or the assembled jockeys. And coming full circle, watch as this quarterback intentionally runs the wrong way on the last play of the game, willing to give up 2 points to preserve the team's 7-point lead. But before he reaches the goal line, he tosses the ball in the air where it is caught by an opposing player for a touchdown. Down by 1 point, the opposing team converts a 2-point try to win the game.
Charlie's Gamble, all 1,300 pounds of them, races in fourth on the outside. Dunbar Gold has made up ground. Dunbar Gold is racing now toward third as Benevolent hit the rail.
As we've seen, horse racing has produced many unpredictable moments in sports. None more unpredictable than this one. Here, the horse Benevolent jumps into the water, swims across, and is finally pulled to safety. Animals in the water have produced some memorable images. Who could forget Squiggy the Squirrel, water skiing in this little pool? Sports bloopers involving water are not confined to animals, however.
You brought a lot of kids out here tonight. 1 and 2 as the sprinklers go on. Oh, you gotta love it. Now you gotta love this, folks. Now you gotta absolutely love this. Robert Housen back here saying, wait a minute. This is a classic. Oh my. Dick, are you bad luck, Dick?
Irv, you got your foot on the sprinkler switch. I can see it.
This is amazing. And the guy with the key has the night off. So this game is history.
You gotta be kidding.
And the sprinklers are on. I love it. Hey, I really got my hats off to the Spartans. Good football, fireworks, lightning, rainstorms.
Nobody in sports enjoys a good joke more than our next guest, Charles Barkley.
Hey, knuckleheads, Charles Barkley telling you that my favorite part about sports is all the pranking going on. There's my sick friend, Rick Mahorn. He got the biggest butt in the world. Rick hid under the table there and stuck his fat head underneath a covered tin. Manute Bowl, the skinniest and ugliest man on earth, was about to get a surprise party. Because when he went for the food, Mahorn's fat head would pop up instead.
Keys and onions. They're right there.
Oh, shit. That was Rick Mahorn. Oh, man. Rick.
Hey, Troy, can you sign this? Knucklehead. Now look at this pretty girl on the right. Beautiful smile, too. Compared to this smile, those are some of the ugliest dentures this side of Hakeem Olajuwon's. Nice plaque, lady. And Wade Boggs is about to get plaqued right now.
Hi, Mr. Boggs. See anything different in Tampa than you do in New York?
Well, evidently they don't have any orthodontists in Tampa. You could use a good one.
Thank you.
Eric Turner thinks he's picking lottery numbers out of that bucket. Instead, he's gonna reach in and grab a handful of snake.
What's in there?
What a dope. It's the big one, Elizabeth. Uh-oh, we got an alligator loose in the Kansas City Royals dugout. This could be interesting. Jose Offerman. He's gonna scare him again. See you later, alligator. This is a beauty. NFL players Reggie White and Mike Golick have Keith Boggs thinking he's having tea with the Queen of England. She's a really good lookalike, right, Reggie?
Yeah, Charles, and Keith fell for it, too. He was on his best behavior.
What a knucklehead.
Yeah, what a knucklehead. You should have seen it. She was posing for these ridiculous pictures while Keith was smiling up a storm. Check it out. Look at Keith. Ever see the Queen of England doing muscle poses? When it was all over, Keith felt like a real dummy. He still hasn't forgiven me for setting him up.
Yeah, I can see why. Hey, see you later, Reggie. Folks, if you want to pull a prank on a friend, make sure it's a real doozy. What a knucklehead.
Sports bloopers and pranks have not been the sole property of the United States. In Canada, they also seem to understand the value of a good laugh.
I tried to stop him. I want a back book. I tried to stop him. Leave him. Hey! What? Hey!
Each and every one of these guys, when they least expect it,
And I didn't do it,
they
bud.
got it. Your clothes are going up.
I can't believe that you'd be threatening me in a situation. Yeah! Oh, I didn't see him coming.
The art of celebration has also been perfected by foreign footballers, including those overseas whose group dances equal anything produced in America. Soccer is, of course, the major sport worldwide. These players have learned to use their heads quite effectively. The soccer blooper can be a thing of beauty. In Japan, we find sumo bloopers. Biking seems to provide viewers with funny moments aplenty. This Russian tennis match produces a strange occurrence. Down he goes, game, set, match. Only to be helped off the court. And Nick Faldo works on this young lady's swing.
Put that one on. Put that one on. It'll be all right on the night. So will my leg. Oh.
I can feel your pain. I can especially feel this man's pain because he got whacked in a sensitive, painful area. Take a deep breath, young man.
Without rules, we're a rudderless ship sailing aimlessly in a sea of trouble.
If you want to pull a prank on a friend, make sure it's a real doozy.
You guys got me.
This is Walter Klondike for A Century of Sports Bloopers, Volume 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's time for a blooper flashback featuring one temperamental thoroughbred. His name may as well be Berserk because he goes absolutely crazy in the winner's circle after a race, dragging his trainer around like a rag doll. The reason for the horse's discontent? The blanket they tried to drape on him was made of wool, too hot for a sweaty stallion after a big race. Hello, I'm Walter Klondike. From horses who can't stand still to skaters who can't stand up, to runners that won't slide down. The 20th century has given us quite a ride in the world of sports. So hang on as we bring you the best of the 20th century sports bloopers. It's time for A Century of Sports Bloopers, Volume 2.
Just too close.
The American sports scene is littered with little bodies strewn about its playing field. Given our penchant for youthful recreation, accidents are bound to happen. Organized sporting events serve as a fertile environment for fantastic follies. There are embarrassments aplenty. The general rule in sports is that you need two teams to play a contest, but where, as here, one team fails to show up, the team on the floor scores baskets without any competition. The referee allows them to inbound the ball. The opposing unit soon arrives too little, too late, too tragic to bear. Adults also attempt, with futility, less organized sporting activities. It is one thing to fall down the mountain, but quite another when the mountain falls on you. Indeed, we have taken our passion for recreation to bizarre extremes. Watch carefully as these skiers flirt with disaster. The replay reveals a much smaller mountain than was present when these two wackos began their run. Amazingly, no one was injured. When it comes to amazing, however, one moment in sports reigns supreme. With no time on the clock and Cal needing a touchdown to defeat Stanford, they attempted a desperation play on the final kickoff. They scored the winning touchdown, knocking over a tuba player in the process. The granddaddy of amazing sports plays has spawned a few copycats. This Canadian football play looks rather similar to the Cal-Stanford ending without the same successful result.
Sapunjas back to Flutie. Flutie throws it back to Ken Moore. Moore tosses it out. Wiggins has it. He's the man who started it all. And it's still loose. Penalty flag on the play as the Stampeders. And it's picked up now by Charles Anthony.
This high school play was also reminiscent of Cal-Stanford.
White throws it back to Keating.
This is a Stanford play.
There you go.
There it is. Look at it. They still got it going. They still got it going.
Gives it off again.
Somebody's got to get behind him. Nobody's behind him. There it is.
To comment on the will to succeed, we have engaged the thoughtful ruminations of one General George S. Patton.
He made it. Oh, my goodness.
The story of sports in the 20th century is willpower, the ability to hang on and persevere against all odds. Now, what do I mean by that? When you roll the dice, you can roll 7 or you can come up snake eyes. Sometimes you don't come up at all. It may take, 1, 2, even 3 tries to get it right. Now, when you get knocked down, you gotta pick yourself right up off the canvas. When you're facing a force stronger than yourself, try to hold your ground. There'll be barriers in your way. They may be easy to open. Well then, you know what? Open them up and walk right through the dang things. Sometimes they may need a little push. Do what you have to do then. Push them down. You have to learn to be resourceful. When confronted with an obstacle, go over it if you have to. Get on top if necessary. Go right on through the dang thing. I don't care how you do it, do it. Now don't be indecisive. It'll ruin you.
Wait a minute. One official says yes, one says no. It's not good.
Talk it through and get it right. Lack of confidence will do you in. You may have to change your mind once, but for heaven's sake, don't look like this umpire. He's out. No, he's safe. No, he's out. Mr. Squishy-Washy here makes me sick. Now listen up. Make your call and stick with it.
Who you gonna call? We're not sure. Who you gonna call? We're not sure. We're not sure. Who you gonna call? It's the one entry. They're 1-2. We're not sure.
Well, be sure. Like this guy, whose passion and intensity have to be admired.
Buffalo all the way this time. 3 times. The 3rd time is a charm. Dallas is going down, Gary. Only Buffalo is going to win it. Dallas is going down.
You want your children to be like him. Teach them to break down life's barriers at any cost. Once they set the example, others will follow, and follow, and follow. The simple fact is, greatness comes only to those who dare to succeed. Thank you for your time. General George S. Patton, United States Armed Forces.
And now another edition of Sports Almanac. The date, January 1st, 1954. On this day at the Cotton Bowl, Rice was beating Alabama and was on the way to another score when the Crimson Tide's Tommy Lewis darted off the bench and made a touchdown-saving tackle. He then returned to his seat on the bench. The high-angle camera clearly shows Lewis blindsiding the ball carrier from the sideline. The result of Lewis's action, 1st and goal to go for Rice as they went on to defeat Alabama 28-6 on this date, January 1st, 1954. Sideline antics aren't confined to opposing players. Rabid soccer fans have been known to interfere with the action. This fine gentleman found himself crossing a very dangerous street, but he did look both ways. Attention deficit disorder can be a dangerous malady for sideline standers. The newfangled arena football league doesn't even have sidelines, exposing everyone, even coaches, to field action gone awry. When it comes to skating, this goalie makes a less than graceful exit. Given that animals have a mind of their own, they sometimes exercise this free will in ways that diminish their chances of success. Here, a youngster exercises his free will with gusto. After being whistled for his 5th and final foul, the youngster forgoes the bench and chooses to leave the gymnasium instead. Finally, let's focus our attention on this fellow here, who's about to leave the screen. Not only did he leave the screen, but he also leaves the gymnasium. His defender, right here, has no idea where he went. But the point guard knows exactly where he went. He's out in the hallway, getting ready to run around through the side door. He gets the pass and buries the three-pointer. A play for the ages. Once every 5 years or so, a blooper comes along that stands out ahead of the rest. And here are a few more headline bloopers for your perusal. And now a man famous for using his head, Albert Einstein.
Like all fields of endeavor, sports is governed by physical laws of nature. Permit me to break some of these down for you. Now, we could go round and round and round, but we would always end up with the same profligacy. And that is, gravity governs all sports activities. Gravity holds that what goes up must come down. An object tossed upward inevitably falls in a downward misdirection. Or, to put it another way, keep your eye on the ball. But don't be literal about it. Everything is constantly being pulled down by the Earth's gratuitous force. Unbuckled pants have a strong tendency to fall about one's ankles. Pulling them up and strutting about is a common reaction when confronted with gravity's unbridled ratatouille. In sports, we sometimes see two forces collide at astounding speeds. When these two such forces are of equal power, there should be an equality of result. This brings me to my concept of friction. You can spot the effects of friction most readily when the player slides into a base. Too much friction is bad. Now watch the effect that friction has on this slide, which some of my colleagues have labeled head first to the hospital. Notice in the replay the use of his chin as a brake. Every action will prompt an equal and opposite reaction. And notice how, in this case, the player acts in an inhospitable manner, causing the opposing player to react to the formidable fumulations by retrograding recedingly. This, in turn, creates reactions all over the place, only to be halted by the prospects of a large equine entering the fray. You've all heard of my theory of relativity. If your pole gets stuck between your legs, you will not be able to have any more relatives. Here's another example of my relative theory. So remember, gravity can hurt preponderously. Equal power will yield equal results. And finally, there's my relativity theory that holds that certain sports activities will harm your ability to create new relatives. This clip also conveniently illustrates that every action will create an equal and opposite reaction as one side reacts to the other. Thank you for your time.
As we flip through the pages of 20th century sports, we see a new type of blooper emerging, where competitors traveling at relatively high speeds get absolutely annihilated, totally destroyed, completely wrecked. In a word, out of control. Extreme bloopers, we now call them. The possibility of getting hurt does not in and of itself qualify as an extreme blooper. This blooper of a 3-year-old child crawling around the court during a game is extremely absurd, but not extreme as it is currently defined. While this center fielder will soon be in extreme pain, the blooper is not extreme, nor is this one, where the player scores a goal with his body. No, the sport itself must be extreme, not the act, to qualify as an extreme blooper. The proliferation of home video cameras has enabled us to capture classic moments. Glass usually shatters when subjected to such tremendous force. Equipment in general is a wonderful source of folly because when it breaks, all heck breaks loose with it. Here, a jockey's sulky overturns and the jockey, quite cleverly, hitches a ride with a competitor. Equipment sometimes ends up where it doesn't belong. Yes, broken equipment can create a real problem for competitors. Speaking of problems, my Hollywood friend Jack Nicholson has a few he'd like to discuss.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hey, thanks, Walt. Celebrities like Seinfeld and me, we can't hack the paparazzi. Look at them. Serves you right. And you too. These jokers hound us to death. Lurking behind bushes, setting people up.
We're gonna get you back.
Yeah, Brucey, you tell them. Feel good, Lens boy? We can't even take a leisurely swim without being hassled. Can you handle the truth? The truth is, we go out of our way to run into these guys. Clowns. Bet you're having trouble saying, smile now, Joker boy. It just ticks me off to no end. These guys make life so freaking hard. Excuse me, miss. Can you just hand me that trash can? Thank you, sweetie. Pet peeve number 2. Athletes trying to be TV personalities.
I just kind of played for the Huntsville Stars.
You just kind of can't talk, pal.
I forgot about that part. I knew I was supposed to say something else. We're going to be on TV bloopers, man.
Pet peeve number 3. Broadcasters who can't broadcast.
Stars home opener is April 16th.
Here's one athlete who can act. Whoop-de-damn-do. He's got Babe Ruth's waddle down pat. Pet peeve number 4. Athletes dancing and singing. What do you think, Eric?
It's a hell of a joke.
It's a joke. A joke for the birds. And I'm not talking about the St. Louis Cardinals. No, I'm talking about all the folks who continue to tick me off. They all need a little humility. Take that, Mr. Announcer fella.
The show must go on. They're gonna wrap up their series with Las Vegas.
There is an art to sports commentary, as these announcers aptly demonstrate.
Equal to none is second as they disappear into the fog. From now on, you're on your own.
Then there's a gap of 3 to Dola Hika Makaraka Dola, and then it's Dika Haka Makaraka Dola, and the trailer is Dola Rolla Rolla Rakadaka Molahola.
Bodacious tatas.
I'm no bimbo. Passing the North Pole, passing the half-mile pole.
Into the far turn. Come out. Hello. Horsies, where are you? Here they come. I know you're in here someplace.
Things are going to happen
On
here.
camera, sports announcers and reporters can face unimagined perils. Here, sports reporter Joe Rocco goes toe-to-toe with an umpire on live television.
We're holding up the game for this. We're not holding up the game. We're on live TV, sir. Fine. Okay. Shut the game. We'll be at 30 seconds. Okay, thank you. We're not holding up the game. All right. The umpires are giving us a little heat here. Okay, we'll be done in about 30 seconds. No, you won't. You'll be done now. Okay, I'm going to get thrown out here on opening night. Security, please. They're calling. We got security over here. All right, they're cutting the lights. We got to go. They want us out of here.
The biggest game in Pirate history turned out to be one of the best.
Brian Bailey nearly gets blasted to the heavens as a cannon shoots off during his report. It seems like cannons are an occupational hazard.
The heart, the guts, and soul of this Maple Leaf team, unless somebody just shut the guts at everybody downstairs, of course, is Doug Gilmore.
Interruptions are just part of the news business, as this polite announcer discovered.
And... Sorry. Sorry, stand there. We're in the middle of doing this here. I know, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. But he was going to... Yeah, no, I'm sorry, okay.
That will do it in sports for a Tuesday night.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Well, how's that for a little chit-chat? We'll be back with more right after this.
We are done.
Thanks, Jake.
You bet. We'll be back after a commercial break, folks. Stay tuned.
Larry Holmes and Sugar Ray Leonard symbolized the athletes as endorsers trend in the mid-'70s with this Ford commercial.
Be tough, be big.
You are talking about trucks, of course.
I'm gonna get it. And it's got great knockout looks. So, Larry, you don't have to be big to be tough.
You are talking about trucks, of course.
So, Larry, you don't have to be big to be tough. So, Larry, you don't have to be big to be tough.
For welterweight, you got a heavyweight mouth.
So, Larry, you don't have to... Oops, that's too close.
Now for some more profound words, another fighter, Mike Tyson.
I am Mike Tyson here with some thoughts about sports. You know, all sports are dirty, filled with cheap shots. I mean, look at these two jockeys here, whipping each other during a race. Who says boxing's the only sport where they hit each other? This guy hits his own teammate. My kind of guy. Okay, you could say it's an accident. Okay, say it. It doesn't bother me, because I know the truth. The truth is, boxing's full of accidents, too. This dirty fight is an accident. No one did anything on purpose. This fight here, it's a mirage. See, it didn't really happen. When I told my opponent I'd make her my girlfriend, I was just being friendly. Boxing is a noble sport. Where else can you find a boxer's mother coming to the aid of her son with a shoe? That's very noble. That woman's a noble warrior. When they said I bit my opponent's ear, that wasn't true. A horse bit his ear. See? Right on the ear. No, wait a second. A dog bit his ear. That's what happened. Hollyfield was playing football and the dog bit his ear. See, it was a dog, not me. Boxing's got a real raw deal. We don't have refs poking our eyes out or cheerleaders knocking us upside the head. No, we have respect for our opponents. We don't try to show no one up. Good sportsmanship is our credo. Like that word? Credo? I learned it in the joint. What a great guy. He wants to sit down with his opponent. I worry a little about losing my mind, forgetting things. Oops, an accident.
Your winner by technical knockout, here's...
I just hope I don't end up like this guy.
Chavez.
The greatest boxer of any era was Muhammad Ali. In this rare footage, Ali is seen fighting wrestler Gorilla Monsoon, who teaches the great one a thing or two in this blooper classic. From blooper classics to classic bloopers, follow the bouncing ball. You might think that's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, but it's not. As they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Unusual moments, of course, are not confined to the basketball court. This extra base hit results in an RBI, and also a bizarre double play at home. Now here's an interesting baseball image, something you don't see very often. Same thing with this golf swing. Yes, the power of the haywire sports moment can make us lose our grip, fall over, and stumble with laughter. And now, here's someone who knows a lot about stumbling, George Bush.
Hey, my fellow Americans. About 60 years ago, my grandpappy, George Bush the 12th, played football. Liked to jump, did grandpappy. Always jumping around, never stood still. Taught me sports skills. There I am with the puck. Oopsie, shot, score. That's me as an itsy-bitsy kid. Grandpappy taught me to swim. Didn't mention how slippery it was. Played some football, too. The shoe fit, so I wore it. Had a great life, sure have. Thinking back, may have missed some opportunities. No doubt about it, no question, no argument here. May have whiffed a few times. May have made a few wrong turns along the way. Know what I mean? But I tried to stay ahead of the field like a rabbit, a swift running hare. Always ahead of the crowd. Bowled over Michael Dukakis in '88. Yeah, loved to bowl. Loved to throw strikes. Loved to, oops, as president, used my head plenty. The old noggin. My China trip was a knockout. Learned the language.
All of my Asian, Chinese, particularly brothers and sisters out here.
Sounds like something out of China, doesn't it?
And you're right. I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. Had a few disappointments as president, though.
few little mishaps, as they say, a few slip-ups, couple of trip-ups. You know, you fall down, but you pick yourself up again. Never gave up, though. Tried to score the big TD again in 1992 against Clinton, but fell before I reached the goal line. The second election got off to a bad start. Bad, real bad. Kind of missed an opportunity there. Didn't keep my eye on the ball. Kind of blew it. Just came up short. Lost control. Very disappointing. The world knows the results. Wasn't pretty. Got kicked around by Clinton. Lost big. But I'm happy because I made most of my goals. They were tough goals. I've had some great thrills. Amazing how I picked up my spirits after my defeat. Picked them right up. Put everything in its place. Truly amazing, the resilience of the human spirit. Yes, sir.
Story of sports in the 20th century is willpower. The ability to hang on and persevere against all odds.
Gravity holds that what goes up must come down. About 60 years ago, my grandpappy taught me sports skills. That's me as an itsy-bitsy kid.
This is Walter Klondike for A Century of Sports Bloopers, Volume 2. I hope you enjoyed the video.